They told you that being broke makes you weak. But the real weakness isn't in your wallet, it's in your mind. 5 centuries ago, Machiavelli exposed a truth society still hides. Poverty isn't about money, it's about power and how easily it's surrendered. In this video, you'll learn how to rewire your thinking to stop acting powerless and start building psychological authority, even when you have nothing. Society programmed you to fear scarcity, to stay humble, quiet, and grateful for crumbs. While you prayed for a better life, the powerful built theirs in silence, taking everything you were told to wait for. They never needed chains to control you, obedience was enough. They didn't take your money, they took your mind. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived. Once your reality depends on approval, you're already conquered. That's how power keeps you weak, not through force, but through belief. Poverty becomes your religion. But if you want to break it, you must unlearn submission and rebuild control. Let's start with the first law. Law 1. Reprogram the slave mind. You're not poor because you lack money, you're poor because you were trained to think in limits, to kneel long before life demanded it. Poverty begins as a mental infection, a virus that teaches obedience, glorifies humility, and disguises submission as virtue. Society calls it modesty, but in truth, it's psychological captivity, the belief that you were born to serve, not to rule. This poison seeps into your habits, your words, even your posture, until you start apologizing for wanting more. The real curse of poverty isn't the absence of wealth, it's the worship of limitation. The powerless call ambition evil because they fear what they can't become. That fear becomes their master. Machiavelli warned, "He who becomes a master of a city accustomed to freedom and does not destroy it will be destroyed by it." The same law applies to your mind. If you don't destroy weak thoughts, they will destroy you. Every time you say "I can't," every time you envy instead of strategizing, you feed that virus, handing over the throne in your head to fear and comfort. The system thrives on that weakness. It doesn't want thinkers, it wants obedient workers, men who confuse arrogance with rebellion and submission with goodness. But arrogance isn't the enemy. It's the beginning of dignity. The moment you stop bowing, you start building. Power starts in perception. The way you see yourself becomes the way the world treats you. The poor project lack before they experience it, their energy gives permission to be dominated. The rich rise again after losing everything because their minds never accepted servitude. Dependence is the architecture of slavery. When your mind is programmed to wait for rescue, you'll always kneel before those who seem stronger. Break that code. Stop expecting salvation. No one is coming, and that's your freedom. Once you accept that, you stop asking and start taking. Each act of discipline reclaims a piece of your power. Every time you reject self-pity, the virus dies a little. Poverty was never in your wallet, it was in your thoughts. Burn it out. See yourself as dangerous, capable, unbreakable. Because the mind that refuses to kneel cannot be owned. Law 2. Power is an illusion you must master. The world doesn't reward honesty, it rewards control. Most people never rise because they chase sincerity instead of authority. Machiavelli understood that appearances govern perception, and perception creates power. When you look weak, you invite domination. When you act uncertain, you signal that control can be taken from you. People aren't kind, they're observant. They study your tone, your posture, your eyes, searching for hesitation. The instant they sense fear, you become prey. That's why power is performance. You must wear strength until it becomes your nature. Train your face to remain calm while your mind burns. The strong act certain not because they always are, but because they know one truth: the world can't tell confidence from reality. If you look untouchable, you become it. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." Illusion outweighs truth, that's the law of power. The average man exposes his pain. The superior one conceals it, turning calmness into intimidation. Stillness in chaos is the ultimate dominance. Never show defeat, even when you're bleeding. That's not deception, it's warfare. Confidence is armor, composure is camouflage. Let others waste their strength attacking your surface while you rebuild behind it. The moment you appear helpless, respect dies. Respect is earned by those who make others doubt their limits, and that doubt is your weapon. In chaos, move slower than everyone else. Speak last. Watch more than you talk. The man who controls his reactions controls the room. Weakness isn't physical, it's visible through panic, tone, and overexposure. Hide yours. Let people assume you know more than you do. Let them believe you have allies they cannot see. Let them overestimate your strength, it's safer than being underestimated. The world worships symbols more than substance. That's why kings still wear crowns even when their kingdoms crumble, because authority lives in performance. You must build that presence, even when you're broke. Stand tall. Speak less. Control your movements. Leadership doesn't require wealth, only composure. Every gesture, every pause, every silence becomes part of your dominance. You're not pretending to be powerful, you're training others to recognize your authority. Once they do, belief becomes reality. The poor act small because they think small. The powerful act grand because they refuse to be anything less. Never appear helpless again, because the moment you do, the world will make sure you are. Law 3. Escape the approval trap. The poorest man isn't the one without money, it's the one who can't breathe without validation. Most people don't chase success, they chase approval. They crave to be seen, understood, accepted, and that need is the perfect leash. It doesn't look dangerous, but it drains power faster than hunger ever could. The moment you need others to confirm your worth, you hand them control over your identity. Machiavelli warned, "It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one must choose." Love depends on others. Fear, however, can be created at will. Validation is the illusion of comfort, a golden collar. When you seek it, you announce that your emotions are for sale, and the world always buys cheap. The weak explain too much, defending their pain, their motives, their stories. The powerful don't. They understand that silence is sharper than speech. Silence makes people guess, and guessing creates unease, the seed of respect. Every unnecessary word is an invoice for your insecurity. Weakness always seeks understanding. Strength never does. The lion doesn't justify its roar, it simply echoes power. Every time you beg to be seen, you shrink your value. Every time you explain your pain, you trade leverage for sympathy. The poor crave attention because it's the only currency they still believe in. The powerful use mystery as dominance. They hide their wounds, turn them into armor, and walk as if they owe nothing to anyone. That common difference commands more authority than any speech. People only respect what they can't fully read. If they can predict you, they can control you. If you're emotionally transparent, you become a map for manipulation. The antidote is restraint. Let your silence do the speaking. Watch how the energy in a room shifts when you stop explaining yourself. Their discomfort becomes your power. People fear what they can't decode. The poor man craves recognition. The powerful man craves control. Stop chasing approval like a starving child chasing light. You don't need permission to be powerful. You don't need applause to know your worth. Let them misunderstand you, it's a small tax for freedom. Validation is the most elegant addiction, pleasant, silent, and enslaving. Every like, every compliment, every nod becomes another chain. Break them. Walk away. Be willing to be disliked, even hated, because that's the price of sovereignty. Weak men fear disapproval. Strong men know that real influence always breeds enemies. So choose respect over affection, mystery over exposure, command over comfort. Stop explaining. Stop defending. Exist in quiet control. Because the moment you stop begging to be understood, you start being obeyed. Law 4, rule through presence. A man with nothing to lose is dangerous, but a man who moves as if he's already won is untouchable. Kingship begins not in wealth, but in perception. The poor wait for success to feel worthy, the powerful use scarcity as fuel to demonstrate control. Machiavelli wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." Kings understand that their circle mirrors their strength. Even when you have nothing, your time and attention must feel expensive. The way you carry yourself teaches the world how to treat you. When you project authority, people obey it. When you project desperation, they feed on it. Composure, tone, and presence are weapons no one can take from you. A man who commands himself commands his fate. Thinking like a king means standing still while others scramble, responding instead of reacting. You don't chase validation, you radiate it. You don't rush, you move slowly because you trust your dominance. This is dark psychology at its finest: control perception, and you control reality. Every word should sound deliberate, every decision must appear final. People follow confidence that doesn't beg to be proven. The illusion of certainty is worth more than the possession of wealth. Poor minds reveal stress, royal minds reveal nothing. Kings understand that emotion is currency, and public display of it is waste. Even in scarcity, composure makes you sovereign. Control your tone, your gestures, your breath, these are the emblems of real status. The weak chase luxury to feel important, the strong use self-control to appear inevitable. That illusion terrifies those built on fragility. People worship calm authority because it gives them something to believe in. They will trust a composed deceiver over a frantic truth-teller. Machiavelli mastered this art. He knew that leadership is theater, every ruler performs. To rule is to act so completely that even your reflection accepts the lie as truth. When you behave like a king long enough, the world reorganizes around your conviction. This isn't pretending, it's programming. You're training your subconscious to command, not comply. Never look defeated, even in loss. Never lower your tone, even in doubt. Because once you act powerless, you will be treated as such. Royalty isn't about crowns, it's about control. Think it. Breathe it. Walk it. Be it. Law 5, master detachment, control by needing nothing. The man who needs nothing controls everything. That's the truth society fears most, because its entire system depends on your dependency. Every ad, every rule, every relationship is designed to make you crave and obey. The moment you stop needing, you become untouchable. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. The detached man is feared because he can't be ruled by either. He doesn't chase validation or affection, and that makes him impossible to manipulate. When you stop craving approval, you stop being controlled. Detachment isn't coldness, it's control. It's mastering desire before it masters you. Weak men worship what they lack, strong men choose what deserves their energy. The less you reveal, the heavier your presence. The calmer you stay, the more others bend around you. The detached man doesn't react, he calculates. He doesn't beg, he decides. His silence exposes others' noise, his stillness unnerves them. This is dark psychology in motion. The less you need, the more power you have over those who do. Detach, and you exit the game. No one can use loss, rejection, or praise against you. You become self-contained, calm while others unravel. The poor cling to everything because their worth depends on it. The powerful walk away from anything and remain whole. Detachment is that silent law: nothing owns me, not success, not failure, not even love. This isn't heartlessness, it's strategy. Machiavelli called it power through independence, the ability to rule yourself so completely no one else can. You can love deeply but never need deeply. You can care, but never depend. That's what separates kings from captives. Detach from outcomes. Obsession clouds judgment, detachment clarifies it. When you stop needing to win now, you start making smarter moves. When you stop fearing loss, you stop bleeding power. Detachment turns pain into focus, silence into command, rejection into leverage. It's not emotionless, it's selective emotion. The world can't trap a man who refuses to be owned by desire. Once you reach that state, your indifference becomes magnetic. People chase what doesn't chase back. Detachment doesn't kill connection, it defines it. It teaches others that your time, energy, and peace are luxuries, not entitlements. The man who can walk away from anything is the one no one dares to test, because he's already free. Law 6. Weaponize pain. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your initiation. Every betrayal, every loss, every wound was training you to evolve beyond emotion into precision. Machiavelli said, "Never waste the opportunity offered by a good crisis." He knew that suffering isn't just to be endured, it's to be exploited. The weak collapse under pain because they mistake it for punishment. The strong rise because they recognize it as information. Every blow reveals something, about others, about your limits, about your strategy. Pain strips illusion and exposes truth. It shows who's loyal, who's lying, and who you really are when comfort is gone. That's why most run from it, they can't face truth without anesthesia. But the man who stands inside it without breaking becomes unshakable. Pain exposes weakness, but it also reveals design. The difference between slaves and strategists lies in interpretation. The slave reacts, the strategist records. He dissects betrayal, upgrades his defense, and builds armor from heartbreak. Every insult becomes data. Every humiliation becomes memory, proof of what he'll never tolerate again. This is Machiavellian transformation, using suffering as fuel for dominance. Emotional wounds are like blades, they destroy the fragile but forge the disciplined. Pain can poison or prepare you, it depends on whether you attach emotion or extract insight. The powerful don't romanticize suffering, they study it. They turn tragedy into training. Because pain is the only teacher that doesn't flatter. Success deceives you, comfort dulls you, but pain delivers truth raw and exact. It doesn't negotiate, it refines. To master pain, you must suffer consciously, observe it without letting it steer you. Let it burn away delusion but never direction. Don't seek revenge while you're bleeding, let time forge the blade. Every scar becomes a symbol of survival, not a curse, but a privilege. The most dangerous man is the one who smiles while bleeding. He's unpredictable. Pain turned him into patience, precision, and control. The world expects pain to humble you, instead, let it harden you. Use rejection to define your boundaries, betrayal to sharpen your perception, and loss to fuel your focus. Every struggle can be recycled into dominance if you remain aware. Machiavelli believed pain reveals the soul of leadership, separating the emotional from the strategic. True leaders don't feel less, they convert feeling into control. Every hit becomes an upgrade in awareness. Don't weep, document. Don't react, refine. The world respects those who endure storms in silence and rise sharper than before. Pain can't destroy you unless you identify with it. You are not your wounds, you are the weapon they created. When you learn to love pressure, discomfort, and solitude, you stop seeing pain as tragedy and start seeing it as privilege, because only those chosen to lead are tested that hard. Remember, the fire that melts glass hardens steel. The choice is yours which one to become. Law 7, rule yourself, the throne within. He who cannot command himself will always serve someone who can. Machiavelli taught that all power begins within. The man ruled by emotion becomes property of those who exploit it. Discipline isn't punishment, it's supremacy. It's mastering your impulses, your tone, your reactions so deeply that nothing external can steer you. The weak are provoked and predictable. The strong move with calculation. They delay gratification, analyze before acting, and never let emotion dictate motion. That's true freedom, being steady while others drown in chaos. A prince must learn how not to be good, Machiavelli wrote, not to glorify cruelty, but to teach control. The one who rules himself knows when to attack, when to wait, and when to stay silent. Patience is disguised dominance. The one who can pause owns the moment. Discipline is the rarest form of wealth, it can't be taken, only built. Money fades, allies betray, but self-command endures. The man who conquers his chaos becomes the one others follow through theirs. When your focus sharpens like a blade, the world bends to your rhythm. Most men destroy themselves through impulse, speaking before thinking, reacting before understanding. You must reverse that instinct. Turn emotion into data. When anger rises, dissect it. When fear whispers, confront it. When doubt appears, study it. Awareness breeds control, and control breeds respect. People instinctively submit to those who stay composed while others unravel. That's dark psychology, silent authority through calm. Self-discipline isn't suppression, it's weaponized restraint. It lets you choose strategy over reaction, precision over chaos. When you master yourself, manipulation loses its hold. Temptations look like traps. Recognition looks like control. The disciplined man doesn't need to prove strength, his stability speaks louder than words. Control yourself, and you control destiny. Every empire falls from internal decay before invasion, the same law applies to men. You lose the moment you surrender to impulse. Be calm when provoked, focused in noise, steady in crisis, that's real power. Power ends where self-control breaks. Most men never rule because they drown in reaction, chasing emotion, attention, noise. They mistake motion for progress. But power is not movement, it's design. It's geometry. Every thought measured. Every silence intentional. Every gesture a line in something greater. To rule yourself is to become that design, to strip away chaos until only structure remains. Precision replaces passion. Composure replaces noise. You stop responding to the world and start shaping it. That's the point where power ceases to be theory and becomes architecture. This chapter is part of that architecture, the ongoing construction of Machiavelli on power as design. Each law is another layer in the blueprint. Keep building. Keep refining. Until even your stillness commands.